Hey, we're live. Hello, hello, hello. Hey guys, what is up? This is Olivia Igwe coming live from London. If you guys are watching on a replay, drop me a hashtag style. Where are you going, Dad?
I was leaving.
Yeah, he's walking off. I'm like, wait, I already pressed play. So if you guys are watching on a replay, drop us a hashtag style. Tell us where you guys are tuning in from. We are on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok here. Hey, Andy, tell me where you guys are tuning in. We're going to be trying to read all the comments live on Facebook. For some reason, I haven't been able to watch the comments. So anyways, we're here with Dad. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Olivia. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. So we're going to be talking about a book today. What book are we talking about?
Talking about this, my book.
Breaking Down Barriers. Okay.
And I just thought it would be interesting to talk about a particular subject, a particular title, which I think is very important for all of us to take into account. So what I'm going to do is going to take that chapter, read through it, pause from a moment, from time to time, to just explain something to you. So this is the chapter which is entitled Take Risks. So every chapter of the 50 chapters in the book has a very specific title. And what I do is I start out with my philosophy, concepts, ideas, and then share with you a personal story.
And you can get the book on Amazon at chrisigwe.com. Signed copies were last week. If you want signed copies, price goes up.
This is true. And she's my negotiator, so you don't want to negotiate with Olivia, that's for sure. But if you want to do it yourself and have your own copy, you can go to Amazon. Anyway, take risks. It's not very long, so don't worry. It's not a bedtime story. To succeed, we must take risks. The moment we start a new venture in life, it involves risk. That's a fact. Those who take risks are likely to achieve more, earn more, be more successful than if they played things safe. Now, not everyone wants to or likes to take risks. However, through risks eventually comes reward. Risks can be expressed in financial terms, personal terms, relationships, material or emotional things, and way more as well. But to achieve success, by taking these risks, it's one of the most exhilarating experiences. And that I can tell you. I've taken many risks in my life. We can discuss that at another time, but they are very exhilarating because you learn through them, you experience them, and you come out the other side. It is as if you have climbed a mountain with or without the help from others. The very process of what you go through is what makes the difference. So learn that risk-taking will not be the end of you. We often fear that. It will not be the end of you. You may still fail, but you learn something about yourself which helps you grow.
Okay. Question. Do you maybe want to share one thing? Hey, everybody tuning on, Jess, Choma, Powell, everybody tuning on, Jaws. Tell me, what was the one thing that was exhilarating right now that you don't need to go into, but what is the one thing that you're like, oh my goodness, this was so exciting, and you didn't care about the outcome of the end?
Well, there are many stories I could recount, but would you like me to go into the personal story which is in here, which explains it? Or you want me to take something
No, give us something that's not in the book.
Not in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, so many different things.
We'll make it snappy, okay? It's always there. The crack is always there. Just drunk some crack. I'm getting red again.
Okay, so one of the big risks, if you like, is, well, I guess a simple one, and one which I do talk about in the book, but it's nonetheless important, is when I asked your mother to marry me after having met her only 10 days. So I met her, 10 days later,
guys, 10
I
days.
asked her to marry me. Now, bear in mind, that has got to be, for most people, one of the biggest risks in your life, because firstly, when you ask, for guys out there, when you ask a woman or a girl or a young lady to marry you, what are the risks? The risks are, first of all, and the most important one from a male point of view, is she says no after 10 days. What happens then? Okay? That could break your heart. It could do all sorts of things to you emotionally, mess you up completely. But I went with it. That was the risk I took. And, 40 plus years later, we're still married, 4 children, 1 grandchild. So absolutely amazing. So you never know what's going to happen on the other side. So go for it. Risks are important.
Like it.
Then what I add in here, because in each of the chapters, just so you know the structure. There's a thought, an idea, a philosophy I share with you. I give you a quote, because I love quotes. I give you an action item, and then I give you a critical thinking question. So the quote in here is from Muhammad Ali, and he said, "He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life." He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. And I'm sure many of you will identify with that. And by the way, you may have heard the quote, which is, "Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are built for." Okay?
I mean, yeah, we don't really need to go into this thing that where the ship is missing, the Titanic one. We don't need to go into that, guys. Funny that you're telling it now. It's all on my TikTok feed. Hey, everybody. Arlette, Shoma. Yush, how are you, my love? Long time no see. So we're just going over a bit of talking about taking risks in life. From Breaking Down Barriers. If you want to get the book, you can get it on Amazon, chrisigwe.com. Risk, absolutely, that's the biggest thing. Why don't we go into maybe from your book? You started reading. We're not going to read the personal story, so if you want to get the book. But what we will do is talk maybe about some action items, critical thinking, questions in there on why it's so important to take risk and to live in the out of the comfort box. Like, for example, right now, we're live on LinkedIn, we're live on Insta, we're live on, LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, and TikTok. If you guys not following, you can. TikTok, I'm going to leave the live on Insta and Facebook so you guys can watch it. But Dad.
Yes.
Let's go more into today. How can we add risk into our life? Let's say somebody is an entrepreneur or not an entrepreneur or whatever. I mean, we both talk mainly to entrepreneurs or people that are aspiring to be. Why be an entrepreneur? Why would the risk of working for yourself, living on the edge, have crazy dreams that nobody understands you, live in the endless possibilities that things are going to happen, but they may not or they may, be completely the crazy one in your family? Why?
Speaking about yourself.
And you.
And your mum.
The whole family, aside from Choma.
We're all crazy, but there you go. Well, I think, first of all, doing anything in life, there is a risk involved. So I guess that's the first message I want to get across.
Amen.
But being an entrepreneur, because that's what you talk about, I've lived in corporate, worked in corporate for a very long time, and then decided, I went into being an entrepreneur, did that for 5 years. Big company called me back in because they thought that I was doing such a great job. I went back in for 8 years and then came out, and I've been on my own ever since. So entrepreneurial, and by the way, I think it's important to understand, being an entrepreneur does not necessarily mean being on your own outside a company. You can actually have an entrepreneurial mindset inside a company as well. So you can create this kind of idea.
Apparently it's a new word, entrepreneur.
I stay with the old school.
Okay, but
entrepreneur.
Layla Homozy said it was entrepreneur.
Fantastic. We're not going to take things that are new wave, new ideas, new thoughts. I'm very traditional. I like it that way. I move with the times. We're doing digital, 4 platforms, pretty amazing. That's a risk in itself, so learning through that. But being an entrepreneur, is a risky endeavor. However, to your question, the rewards that you get by being your own boss, doing your own thing, going through the ups and the downs of what that experience is like, connecting with people you may not connect with, doing business with people who you choose, because that's the other thing about being an entrepreneur, running your own business. You choose who you want to associate with and be involved with. And quite frankly, there are just so many different experiences. Yes, let's not get carried away. It's not for everybody. Okay, that's one thing that I really want you to understand. Not everybody has what it takes to be an entrepreneur. But until you try it, you won't know. I've actually discouraged some people from being entrepreneurs because it goes back to this point about risks. I've said to them, to what extent are you prepared to take a risk? To what extent are you prepared to not know what tomorrow is going to provide, but know that your vision for where you want to be is so strong it'll get you there? But entrepreneurial businesses have risks, but the highs are just amazing, and they carry you through the lows whenever that happens.
Okay, so next question. How do they carry you through the lows?
They carry you through the lows. I mean, in a very basic way, for example, you hold on to those amazing moments and rooftop or the mountaintop and the experience you've had. And so when you're going through the tough times, you look back on that. So you've got to carry with you, and I encourage a lot of people to do this, if you have testimonials, if you have recommendations, if you have thank yous from clients. I actually go out and ask my clients after I finish working with them if they could do me a testimonial. Now, 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10, I hope, you get a great one, a powerful one, because you've done a good job. If you haven't, then, don't ask.
Testimonials are like the lifeblood of business. Somebody here, Powell says, got a dash, but the proposal story made my day. Great to meet you, Chris. Olivia, take care of him. Great soul. Hands together. Other question here was, what line of business did you go into?
Okay, so I'm
guessing Disco Diva, you're talking to that, right? Okay.
So that particular story in there anyway, although Olivia says I shouldn't tell it, but what I was before, I'm many things, okay? So that's being an entrepreneur.
You understand why I'm just like a multitude of like rainbows? Me too. Somebody was like, do you ever stop in your life? I'm like...
No, you can't stop. You got to keep on going because it's all super exciting and fantastic stuff. So I started out as a civil engineer, worked on major international global projects.
MI6?
Stansted Airport, which is the one that I would refer to in here. So if you fly out of Stansted Airport, next time give it a wave. Say, I know who was involved in that project. Moi.
I am one handshake away. Actually, no, you're two handshakes away. So from me and to Dad. So hey.
So there you go. So I was in that industry, then I moved into retail, and I had a European position with a major global brand, and I'd never done retail before. So that's where this risk piece comes in. I knew nothing about it. Why did they hire me and all the rest of it? Different story, different time.
Actually, you may want to jump into maybe what Mom said when you were going to jump into it. What did she say?
Well, she couldn't believe that I was being hired in a position to do real estate because I knew absolutely nothing about real estate. That's what you got women in your life that are just strong. This one's strong. My wife is strong. She just tells it like it is. It comes out. You take it or you leave it. So I was a bit disappointed because I was living in Switzerland at the time, and I rang her. She was in France, and because I travelled, and told her this exciting news, and she just said, I don't understand why they offered you that position because you know nothing about real estate. So that's love, that's commitment, that's power, but that gives you energy because you then say to yourself, no way, I'm going to prove her wrong. I'm going to prove her wrong because this big company has hired me and I've got to do it. So don't look necessarily for people to pat you on the back. It's totally okay to have your own internal engine to motivate and drive you.
Love that.
Choma,
the Ment is laughing. Choma too. Hopefully Diva, whatever your name was, apologies. Yes, it does. Disco Diva. So I guess the question was for you, Dad. If you guys have any questions, you guys can ask. Choma, you can also ask your questions. I'm supposed to see you tomorrow. But whatever. Okay, anything else you'd like to talk about risk? Oh, the critical thinking in the book.
Oh, should we do that? Because this is really important, guys. Critical thinking questions.
Wait. Before, Dawn. Hey, Dawn, my love. Okay. Why did you put action item, recommended resource, and critical thinking? Why do we have homework?
You have homework because you've got to think. I can't do all the thinking for you. That's the reason I wrote the book. Although people sometimes think and have said, and I've corrected them, that this is an autobiography. It is not an autobiography. Yes, I'm on the cover because, that's how the book is supposed to be identified. But it's not just an autobiography. It does contain my life story, some of it, through personal stories. But I wanted it to be a working document for you through life. So I want you to pick this up.
Amen!
Put it down, come back to it, try it again at some other point in order to be able to be successful. So
wait, before you do, 2 words of advice here that Magda has picked up. You can't answer, watch me. I love that. Okay. Go on, Master.
So the action items. I've got action item, recommended resource, and critical thinking question. Critical thinking being the last one. An action item, so here it says, look back on your life and recognize where you have taken risks and how they played out, for better or for worse. So that's for you to go away and think about, what are the items? Olivia asked me now, what is an example that off the cuff I had to share about, not in the book, but about risks and entrepreneurship. what is it that you can relate to in terms of the risk? That's one thing. So that's for you to do. That's not me. Recommended resource. I then identify a book called Creating Your Own Destiny by Patrick Snow, which I basically go and read and see what it says in there.
Buy it for yourself, okay, y'all?
There'll be 50 books in here for you to buy, by the way, but that's entirely up to you. This is what I've experienced. This is my library. And the critical thinking question. This is the big one. This is the one that matters most.
So listen up, guys.
Okay.
Do we have our ears open? I've never really known what I've wanted to do. Okay, we'll jump into that. Let's jump into it.
Okay, the question is, when you are faced with a choice that is perceived as a risk, weigh it up against the rewards and then make your decision with the full information at your disposal. So you have to dig deep, think about it. You have a choice to make. There is a risk or a perceived risk. In other words, you're not sure if there's a risk in there. Weigh it up against the rewards. What are the rewards that you can get if you went forward and did whatever it is you're going to do? So rather than say, oh, I don't want to make this decision, it's too risky, what about the flip side? And you look at that and you go, well, if I did this, I would be that or become that or have that, earn that, travel there, whatever it happens to be. What could stop you? What should stop you? So that's your critical thinking question. You've got to go back, delve into yourself, figure it out. And then, by the way, even though you do it now, you will keep on doing it the rest of your life, or you should, because every situation has pros and cons, risks and opportunities, and it's up to you to decide whether you have all the information to make the decision and then go ahead with it.
Well, guys, thank you for coming to the show. Go and do your homework. See you later. Okay, so, love that. So, question from Dawn. I've never really known what I've wanted to do, just want to make good money. Now, my question to you would be, what does good money mean to you? Because good money could mean just an extra 200 pounds, could mean an extra $500, that's it. Or good money could be generating $1 million, $250,000 every single month, but that involves a lot of work. And it's not for the faint at heart, because money is just solving problems. That's just all it is. So my question to you is figuring out, what are you good at? What have you helped in the past overcome, and how can you monetize on something that will make you passionate? Because good money is great. Money definitely does make you, not make you a better person, because it amplifies the person that you are. So if you're a good person, you're a good person. If you're a bad person, you're always going to be a bad person. But who are you wanting to be? What are you wanting to serve to this world that people can purchase? And there's various different ways. But good money is just, it's way too vague. It doesn't make any, and I love that you're asking the question, because it needs to be said. And I think also others can relate to this. But what does good money mean to you? Like, honestly, what does it mean? And what is good money? Is it just having a lifestyle where every 2 weeks you can go on holiday? Or is it to be like Ed Milet? He goes on holidays for every he only takes holidays 2-3 days, shuts off, and then the rest he works. That's his motto. He loves it. He doesn't take 2 weeks of, landing in the beach, etc. So, yeah, that was a bit of a TED Talk, but I did want to jump into it because I just believe that it's like asking somebody, I want freedom. What does freedom mean to you? Because Muhammad Ali said that his freedom was when he was in prison. You know what he said? He said he didn't have any bills to pay. He didn't have any fight to have, because he had peace inside of him.
And I think that's the key in many ways. And this is what I want this book to be as well. This is your path to peace, your own peace, internal peace, as well as hopefully peace in the world, with how you treat your neighbor, how you treat your family and friends and those you work with and everything else. So it's a question of what is your path? What is it that you are looking for? And what is it that you need? And you'll only do that by digging into yourself. It won't come from the outside. It will have to come from you on the inside. Yeah. So I think we're running out of battery, are we?
Yeah, on the TikTok. I'm so sorry, guys. We're running out of that. Let me just charge it and hold it for a minute. This is the animation of live. So I will hold it. I don't know, because she says, wow. So it must have resonated some way, shape, or form. Hey Rhodes, hey FX, James Legg, nice name, handle, Lambert, whatever that is. Great to have you on. So if you guys have any questions you want to ask Dad before we leave him go to his tours of saving the world and recommending his book.
No, as an entrepreneur, I still have to work. So Olivia grabbed me, as she always does, between my own work, which is fine. Love to share, happy to share. So it's not just about the book, but hopefully some wisdom and insight that I can share with you on each of these platforms that will give you just a little nugget, a little something that you take away. And whatever that something is, get it to work. Get it to start going. And I if I may,
go for
I will say one, which many of you, if you're in the personal development or self-help industry, you'll know the late Bob Proctor. Bob was a good friend of ours, loved spending time with him, really incredible guy. And very early on, one thing that he said that his mentor shared with him, and I've always carried it around, and I've committed to you as well. His mentor said to him, and Bob shared this, 2% of people think. 3% think they think. And 95% of people would rather die than think.
Wow.
Okay? That's profound.
Man.
But the point is, are you on this call or those listening to it on a replay, are you part of the 95% or are you the 2 or the 3%?
Who's ringing the doorbell?
I want to be in the 2
Who is it?
or 3% for sure. I don't want to be in the 95%. So I encourage you to be a part of that. So whether it's 2% of the thinkers, 3% of the thinkers, whatever it is, this book is about thinking. It's not just about my autobiography or anything else. It's part of you thinking for yourself and then owning it and owning your choices, your decisions, your desires to move forward in your life. But most importantly, I would encourage you to help each other change somebody in your... Well, you can't change them, that's not the point. But if you evolve, grow, develop, you learn your own skills, understand what it is that is your fuel, what is your engine, you will help somebody along the road, a smile, a word, an encouragement, whatever it happens to be. So be the 2 or the 3% who are thinkers on this planet, and we can do amazing things.
Absolutely. We're in control of our destiny. So you can get the book at chrisigwe.com, Chris, C-R-I-S, Igwe, I-G-W-E.com, or you can just message me on Insta and I'll send you the direct link if you are L-A-Z-Y. But yeah, we're in control of our destiny. Great words. Hey, Charmaine, my love. Look forward to seeing you when I come back from Paris. Yeah, that is Igbo. I guess that's it.
That's it.
Go and get the book, guys.
It's a wrap.
Go and support the humans. I mean, this human here. But yeah, it was great tuning on. We are going to be going to, I'm excited. If you guys don't know and you guys haven't followed yet, do follow along. I'll leave the replay on Insta and Facebook so you guys can watch it. We also did another interview about 2 days ago? Was it 3 days? Was it Monday?
Last Saturday. Well,
time flies when you're having fun. So I left that on Insta and Facebook so you guys can watch it. And LinkedIn, same thing. We are going to Germany, Mom and I, for the supplements. If you guys don't know, we retail supplements to help with better focus, better concentration, better energy, mood, focus, concentration, better, just feeling better. And also having a cash flow. So if that's of an interest to you, then absolutely. But we shall love you and leave you. Remember, what's my sentence then?
Be you, do you. The world does not dictate who you are, but you dictate to the world.
Woo! Okay, guys. See you guys later. Now I need to turn off all these devices.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Gotta go.
Bye.